before we get into that, we have some RHONY news. The Real Housewives of New York will be filming their reunion. You may recall we posted a story talking about the Real Housewives of New York reunion possibly happening in September, October. Andy, just 5 hours ago, posted his normal tweet saying that, okay, tweet us your questions. Tweet us your questions. Can we just take a moment and look at some of the questions? Let's take a moment and look at some of the questions. We never do this, but we should do this more. Let me share my screen with you guys. Hold on one second. Share screen. There we go. All right. Let's just take a look at this. Let's take a look at this together, please. Just like we're going to read a couple of questions. First of all, if you're just joining us, we have some Erica Girardi news to go over. But before we go into that, shout out to everyone. I see where everyone's watching from. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Around the world. I love it. Okay, so Andy, about 2:43 p.m. Eastern time, Andy posted, my team is getting ready for the Real Housewives of New York City reunion. Tweet me all of your questions for the ladies now, and please let me know where you're from in the question. Okay, let's start with Sophia from Houston. Oh wait, I'm gonna keep myself up here so you guys can see me. Hold on. There we go. So you guys can see my reaction. Okay. So Sophia from Houston says, Ramona, why do you get defensive when white supremacy and white privilege is called out by Ebony? And why do you call her preachy for doing so? She has every right to talk about her experiences as a Black woman. It's sad to see that make you uncomfortable. That sounds like a solid question. It sounds like a solid question. Okay. Luria from Chicago, question for Andy. After the reckoning that took place across other Bravo TV shows expelling cast members who've made racist and insensitive statements, why is Ramona Singer still collecting a check? They won't answer that question, Luria, but we are going to give a highlight to your question here on our version of the Real Housewives of New York reunion. That's what we should do. If anyone does that, you know where you heard it first. We should do our own reunion, and we should take some of the questions, and then you guys should call in and pretend to be whatever housewife the question is for and answer it. All right. We're doing it. Ours would probably be a lot more entertaining. Ours would probably be a lot more entertaining. All right. Okay, let's move down. Let's skip around a little bit. Okay, we'll ask this question. Ashanti says, from New York City, ask Ebony about her pro-Trump stance when she was on Fox. I didn't know she had a pro-Trump stance. I want him to ask the question so we can get an answer. Okay. I would like, see, people don't follow directions. Andy told us to tell us where you're from. Some of you people aren't doing that. Okay. I'm John from Fort Lauderdale. Question for Ramona. It was well documented that you attended a $25,000 fundraiser for Donald Trump last year, headed up by his son, Donald Trump Jr., after January 6th. And with all of the pardons, guilty verdicts, and investigations, are you still a Trump fan? Fair election? You already know there's going to be a lot of questions they're not going to ask. Okay, let's see what this is. Okay. Question for Ebony. This is from Unsolicited. Y'all need to follow directions. He said he wants your name and your location. But anyways, she asked this question. Question for Ebony. Why didn't you invite Prashant to Black Shabbat, but instead invited Ramona, who has been quite dismissive of you in previous interactions and who ultimately acted a fool that night? That's a solid question. And I think Ebony will be able to answer that. I want to hear a response to that, because when we recap RHONY, we said the same exact thing. We were like, what? Why didn't you invite poor Prashant? She barely was on this season. Anyways, let's talk about Sylvia from Chicago. Sylvia from Chicago wants to know, Leah, given Ramona's why does everything have to be about race stance in her politics, do you think Ramona is racist? They're not going to answer any of these questions, and they're not going to ask these questions. I really want to play that clip, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that. Okay. We're just going through, guys. If you just joined us, we are going to get into some Erica Girardi news, but right now it was just announced, it's official. The Real Housewives of New York reunion is happening. Andy's asking for questions. We are going through the questions, and I came up with the brilliant idea. Yes, I said the brilliant idea. The brilliant idea that we should answer some of these questions by viewers calling in, pretending to be that housewife, and I will pretend to be the Black Andy. No, I'll just be Kempire, because just a thought. For a second there, when I looked up Andy's Twitter, I thought Andy blocked me like Anita Baker blocked me. That's a whole other story. That's a whole other story. Okay. Okay. Jennifer from Bakersfield's question is, to all the ladies except Prashant. Why are we excluding Prashant? Okay, except Prashant. Did they all feel that Prashant did a well-orchestrated introduction to the show that included privately contacting housewife fan accounts? They all had almost identical responses to her. Oh, is that tea? Wait a second. Let me read that question again. Did they all feel that Prashant did a well-orchestrated introduction to the show that included privately contacting housewife fan accounts? Why is that not surprising to me? I told y'all, Prashant. I'm not mad at it. Did she do a Wendy Acefo? Bamboozle her way onto this show? Okay. All right, we'll read a couple more, and then we will get into this Erica Girardi. If you're just joining us, we have already over 600 people watching. I'm your boy, TheKempire, and you get daily and consistent content here on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. We're also live on TheKempire and Kempire Daily on Facebook. We're live on Twitch and Twitter at TheKempire. And I know you're faithful to the YouTube, but follow me on those other platforms because we will be doing exclusive, right, TikTok? We did one just the other night, an exclusive watching of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills on TikTok together, where you guys got commentary and we watched the show together. We're going to do more of that, and I might just jump from platform to platform where I do just for that platform, like Twitch, Twitter, those types of things. All right. Hold on. I still want to see your comments. Bernice, hey Bernice. Bernice says, Kempire, I know Anita can be a diva at times, but you got blocked. I know. I don't know why I still don't know why I got blocked. Maybe I said something. I can't imagine. Okay. Let's read a couple more, and then we'll get into this Erica Girardi conversation. Okay. Lewis from New York would like to know why Leah seemed to be plotting against Heather before she even showed up. Was she that bothered about her being on the show again? Yes, Louie. That's what I need an answer to. Let's read one more. Let's read one good one. Let me see. Ooh, I kind of like this one. Ryan says this. Ryan from New York City. And I have a question for the entire cast. Can each person briefly explain why they think they deserve to be on the on the next season after literally giving us nothing this year? Ryan, you are my hero. They're not going to ask that question, but we will on our version of the Real Housewives of New York. I should invite Adam. I believe Adam and I talked about jokingly that we should host the reunion. Adam and I should host our own reunion here on the channel. And you'll probably get that reunion way before the Real Housewives of New York City reunion even airs. If you're just joining us, the Real Housewives of New York City reunion is underway. Not underway literally, but it's going to be happening. You know, we reported on the story that more than likely the reunion will be filmed by the end of the month or next month. Sounds like it's going to be filmed this month. Andy doesn't usually ask that far ahead because we just got the Beverly Hills one. So that says to me, they're probably going to be taping the reunion this week. Andy, can I come? Why do I want to go? It was a boring season. I don't want to go. Never mind.